Are we live? If we're live, let me just go ahead and make sure we are, double checking. But if we are, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to some Glazing Cartoon Network's best shows featuring Shudder, Johnny Bravo, Camp Lazlo, Dexter. A great amount of shows that I just loved watching as a kid. Can't wait to get into it. I'm going to be talking about some of the funny catchphrases they had, going back and looking at some of the memes and stuff that was in the show that have got brought to light ever since the show has passed, because most of these shows are not on nowadays. I think maybe one is that we're going to be talking about here today, and it's going to be a good stream. Like I said, going to be talking about Glazing, Cartoon Network's best shows featuring Chowder, Johnny Bravo, Camp Lazlo, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, and some other shows too, potentially. Maybe we'll get some honorable mentions in there. But yeah, let's get right into it. It's gonna be nice, good stream. I'm just honestly trying to get it pulled up on my phone. All right, there we go. Kenan and Kel. Got a bunch of shows to go through. Got Kenan and Kel, iCarly, Fairly Odd Parents, Drake and Josh, SpongeBob SquarePants, Cat Dog, Ren and Stimpy, weird shows like Chalkzone, Rugrats, Recess, and that's pretty much all of them. All right, show number 1. Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel. They kind of smell. They will put you through hell. Kenan and Kel. Kenan and Kel. Flipping burgers, yeah. Got a burger station. Got a burger station. Seasons 1 and 2. Kenan and Kel. Those are my dudes. Mr. Black 1. Mr. Black 2. About to make a patty for my custisia. Call him Kel. Mitchell in the kitchen. Give him burgers. You know that he's flipping. Then you got Kenan Thompson. Kenan Thompson. Alright. So, obviously, Kenan and Kel, one of the, honestly, most iconic shows. I'm just going to say it is an iconic show when it comes to Disney. Or not Disney, what the hell, Nickelodeon. But I guess you can say it has to be one of the funniest because people like it so much. It's always coming up in. You got Kenan, who's always coming up with crazy schemes, and Kel, the goofball, who was always saying things like "I love orange soda." Always had over-the-top reactions, and pretty much just made everything super, super funny. Bro was always flailing and generally just making a mess of himself. And one of the things about the show that helped to stay relevant to the day. Till today is the crazy catchphrases, like I said earlier. A lot of these shows we're going to be talking today had. So, this one had, who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. Is that true? I do. Are y'all dead ass? All right. I didn't watch this show too much. I'll be honest. I didn't watch this show like at all, actually. But I did watch Did you watch this? If I could type. iCarly, man. This is a great show, 100%. No, well, I won't say no bad episodes, but no gripes with this show. Just as an overall standout in our childhood, but genuinely one of the best shows that Nickelodeon has ever produced. I don't think it's very far-fetched to say that at all. And it was so ahead of its time, obviously. It was Nickelodeon's version of early online internet culture with the chaotic energy, insane humor, and the iconic cast that was like impossible to predict. Probably the most unpredictable was Spencer. This guy right here, Jerry Trainer. In reality, he was just a full-grown child setting things on fire, creating obscene sculptures and getting away with weird situations. And then you had Sam, who brought the edge to the show, and she was like the mean girl. You know, obviously she had that mean girl energy, but at the same time she was Carly's best friend. And she was the one who was always like bullying Freddie. This guy right here, Nathan Kress. Also known for like her insane eating obsession for some reason. She was like a crazy eater. I don't know why she was a crazy eater in that show, but she was. That was like one of her things. But then you had some classic episodes, obviously, where one is where they created an international butter sock craze, and then Spencer made a giant functioning bear that caught on fire. And another one is when they all got taped to a chair. Not all of them, I'm sorry, but one of them, that being Freddie, got taped to a chair by a fan. You know, just another crazy day in Seattle. But I don't think the people who made iCarly honestly realized what they were doing at the time. These characters are forever cemented into internet history simply because of the fact that the show that they were on, and it's not that simple, honestly, but the show that they were on was the internet before the internet was the internet. And so that's just kudos to them, man. That is a really good show. Honestly, one of my favorite shows. But I haven't gone back and rewatched it. Favorite character from this show, I'd have to say, is... Wait, Jack Black was in this? When was Jack Black in freaking... What? Alright. Dude, this show has some, like, OG characters, though. Because, like, this guy, this Justin Prentice guy, he's been in some crazy stuff ever since this show. Because, you know, we've seen him. I'm pretty sure we've all seen him in some stuff. I think what was he in? He was in 13 Reasons Why. That's the thing that, you know. Actors always have those one shows that kind of, like, make you look at them different. You know? But then I don't remember when Jack Black was in this, but as Padme. Alright, whatever. Favorite character, though? Dude, it's probably Jerry Trainer. I'm looking at him. It's probably him. Has to be, right? All right. Anybody else notable from the show that I remember? Obviously, there's Gibby. This guy, he looks like Mr. Incredible, low key. This guy, I don't know if you guys have seen Reed Alexander recently, but he was on it might have been a Disney cruise, but it also might have just been at a Disney club. He was seen like giving kind words, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe we can find it. Maybe I can find it real quick. Oh God, logging on TikTok with no. Yeah, all right. You know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna get off course. All right. Guess what though? Guess what's next? Fairly Odd Parents. So this show. This show right here. Let me tell you about this show. I like this show because in a way, man, they're basically just fulfilling every kid's dream. They said, all right, let's make a show where we literally have a kid who can wish for whatever he wants, whatever he wants, given, the rules. But 10 seasons is crazy. I did not know they got 10 seasons deep, bro. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about Fairly Odd Parents, bro. So got some text. Don't worry about it. I got a text. But look, man, Fairly Odd Parents, one of Nickelodeon's more beloved funny cartoons, because it was a show about a kid who was blessed with 2 fairy godparents who could grant almost any wish he wanted. Literally, that's the premise of the show. You have 2 fairies, and they can grant pretty much any wish, big bro. So, what are you about to do here? But obviously, it's gonna come with some gripes. All right, you're gonna have these fairies, you're gonna have these freaking godparents, but on the other end, you're gonna have these teachers, or a teacher, I should say, named Mr. Crocker, who's gonna be fucking obsessed with you, and who basically has very little life outside of trying to figure out if these fairies are real. And I'm not going to tell you guys how close he gets because I don't remember myself exactly, but, maybe go watch it. All 10 seasons. Great show. And tell me what you find, because Mr. Crocker is definitely a crazy guy. But I think a lot of us, though, to get back on track, loved Timmy because, and trust me, a lot of people love Timmy because he is just relatable, man. Like, horrible parents. He struggled a lot in his life. A horrible babysitter named Vicky, who was also at some point named Icky Vicky. If you get that lore, then you're definitely deep into the series. But then there's the unhinged teacher, who I mentioned earlier, Crocker. Then you had a town full of idiots who were gullible, and it was honestly beyond comprehension how gullible they were. They would basically believe anything Timmy said, and with how fast-paced the show was and how clever all the jokes were and how rapid fire they were, and then, you had stuff like Dinkelberg and fairy godparents. Excuse me, but since the fairy godparents could basically do anything, the show went everywhere. It went to alternate universes, different realities, dystopian futures. There were superhero battles, and they even had a musical about skipping school, which is where the Icky Vicky thing came from, I'm pretty sure. But they also had a super deep episode and episodes about growing up, because at some point Timmy was going to lose these fairy godparents, right? That was one of the plot lines in the show. He was going to lose them because he would grow old. It was part of the rules, and it was just something that came with having them, and unfortunate. My shiny teeth and me, shiny teeth, my shiny teeth that sparkle just like the stars in space. My shiny teeth that twinkle. It's an absolute fucking banger. All right, so we're going back here. Go back real quick. That was Chip Skylark. If you guys aren't familiar, unfortunate. But if we go look at the cast is something that I've honestly never looked too deep into. Butch Hartman. I don't want to butcher their names, but I'll try them. Darren Norris, Susan Blakesley, Tara Strong, Gray. Alrighty, I think that's enough. Mr. Crocker, Carlos Alacuiza. Oh wait, Chester is Frankie Muniz? What? Yo, that's crazy. I didn't know that. He's one of my favorite actors. I love Malcolm in the Middle, man. No, Malcolm in the Middle is actually a great show, bro. He's 40 years old. How's Frankie doing right now? How's Frankie doing? Not too much on here. Not too much for Frankie right here. Anybody else who I would recognize? Any other notable actors, you guys? I think Tara Strong. Wait. Timmy Timmy Turner was played by a girl? Who else was she? Wow. All right, I didn't know that. First, just learned two things right here. So first of all, Adam West. First of all, Frankie Muniz was in Fairly Odd Parents. Didn't know that. And then Timmy Turner was also played by a female. Who would have known? All right, so favorite character from Fairly Odd Parents? I mean, it has to be Timmy. There's really nobody else who I would even compete with. But if I had to go favorite actor, now that I know who these people are, it's going to be Frankie. Not that really matters. All right, moving on. We got the next one coming up here, and this one's going to be another banger, another classic. I know you guys know this one, and it's going to be another great show to talk about. It's going to be Drake and Josh. 4 seasons, came out in 2004, a sitcom. Probably the only sitcom, now that I think about it, that I've ever really fucked with. I don't like sitcoms at all, and I actually kind of hate them because I hate the forced humor that they sit there and wait for you to laugh, for it. It's just not my cup of tea at all, and I would spit it out if someone tried to drink it to me. But Drake and Josh, did it have layers? What was I about to do? Oh. I don't got no water, man. Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh, Drake and Josh, Drake and Josh. How do you guys feel about Drake and Josh? I think it's a great show that's definitely got its flowers and got all the respect it deserves because people love this show. Anything else I can say about Drake and Josh before we get into this? I don't think so. Let's do this. One of the best shows on Nickelodeon. Excuse me. One of the best shows on Nickelodeon, Drake and Josh. You got just the perfect dichotomy. Drake the ladies' man and Josh the anxious nerd. And then you got their sister, which I guess creates this triangle. But their sister, who was just like this walking ball of anxiety that could neutralize themselves, but everything they were looking at just automatically produced excruciating amount of anxiety for them. But these brothers, like I said, were the ultimate opposite attracts duo. Their personalities clashed, creating endless comedy, and the bickering between them made them seem like real siblings. And my favorite character in the show, Josh. Let's get over it. Say it right now, boys and girls. Favorite character was Josh. He was also Josh in the show, Josh Peck. And dude, you know what we could do, though? This is going to be crazy. Ooh, we might have to do that, though. Hopefully nobody comes in here while we're doing this. This is crazy. I mean, this is really why you guys are here. I know this is why you guys are here. This is our real shit, all right? This is our real shit right here. All right. We're going to get out of here. Like I said, Josh, one of my favorite characters because he had the most character development in that show by far. He went from being a fat, non-likable loser that nobody vibed with to Josh Peck that we see today. And Josh is just a great guy. I like Josh. And the show is a good guy. And so, overall, I think in the show he had the most growth because... And not because, but he just showed the most development as well. And when it comes to iconic catchphrases, this show definitely has their fair share. They had a lot of "Hug me, brothers," or "You call me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther." I know some of you guys will know what that's from. And those are probably some of the most well-known. I think one of the most iconic episodes is when the boys got stuck in the treehouse and Josh was just livid at Drake because bro was going to cut a hole in the door before they sealed it up, but they didn't do that. And so then they were stuck in the treehouse. And it's a classic episode, honestly. You guys know which one I'm talking about if you're a fan. And I think this show was probably the most relatable because it showcased that family dynamic that can be super annoying and loving. You know, it just really depends on the day. But unfortunately, honestly, I would never say it. Even though I have brothers, I got to have that family dynamic in the sense of that, like, you know, just that family dynamic, I guess. Because my brother moved out when I was pretty young, and so he just went to California and did his thing and didn't get, you know, I didn't get that dynamic, unfortunately. But nonetheless, moving on to that boy, that absolutely yellow boy. What the heck is this, dude? Short videos? This is a thing now? Holy shit, I didn't know this was a thing. Wow. Nonetheless, SpongeBob. That absolute man. Hold up, just need you guys to know SpongeBob is the best cartoon to ever walk this earth. Bar none. Okay. Now, SpongeBob didn't have a family in his house, but he had his work friends in his community that he terrorized. And they were basically family, obviously. I think what we all like about SpongeBob is the fact that he's overly enthusiastic, loved to work, his absurd optimism, and he has like this innocent stupidity that you just can't seem to not love. All right, and so all those things mixed together give you this yellow sponge that is just trying to bring joy out of everybody, and he got the joy out of me because I love this fucking cartoon. I went back and watched it probably like 2 months ago, and I watched season 1, 2, 3. Keep that in mind, best seasons. But my favorite episodes, you know, take this with a grain of salt. I am only thinking of what I can remember right now, obviously. And so, Squid's Day Off, Something Smells. These are just some notes I wrote down, but I mean, when I was thinking of the script, these must have been what I put down. But Squidward, talking about the characters now. We'll leave SpongeBob for last. Let's talk about Squidward first. So, there's Squidward. Let's see. Let's go see who played the boy Squidward. Alright, so we got the SpongeBob SquarePants cast. Dude, hold up. You know what I want to know? Yeah, that boy Tom Kenny is fucking swimming in it. I just had to make sure. But what was I about to do? So we got Squidward, who is voiced by Roger Bumpass. You know, Squidward is the miserable, sarcastic pessimist who was always constantly suffering, just not really having a good time regardless of the situation. And when SpongeBob's having a good time, he's having a horrible time, funny enough. So I just can't understand why somebody would be so miserable. But then you had Patrick. Actually, sorry. Then you had Mr. Krabs, who was played by Clancy Brown, and he was greedy, money obsessed, very, very, very money obsessed. Very much over the top too with his reactions, and was just an overall like stingy guy when I look back on it, dude. Like, why? Those claws, dude. It was a claws that just gave him that. I don't know. You guys know what I mean, though. But he also had a crazy power laugh, and so, do with that what you will. Then there was Plankton, who was voiced by. Maybe we'll see. Maybe not. Okay, well, nonetheless, then there was Plankton. And he was a tiny villain with big ambitions to steal the Krabby Patty formula, who could never really do so because Mr. Krabs was Mr. Krabs. He was greedy. He went to college. He failed. And he was, in the end, just Mr. Krabs' enemy. Somebody who I don't think went to college, from what I remember. And just an all-around greedy businessman Mr. Krabs was, bro. So it is what it is. Then there was the one-liners that they always just SpongeBob and their one-liners, bro. There's so many. You got firmly grasp it. Then you got my leg. And you got the I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it. Classic, fucking classic, dude. And you got what else is there? I jotted these down a while ago. I'm trying to think if I can just remember anything right now. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, it's just Patrick. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick, bro. Like, I could honestly probably sit here and think of SpongeBob one-liners all day because there's that many. There really is that many. There's probably like at least one per episode. You like that? And then another thing about SpongeBob was the adult humor that it had was very subtle. And I noticed it more when I went back and watched it this last time, a couple months ago, like I was saying. And I think you will too if you're paying attention to the episodes and you're actually listening and you understand the jokes. You're like, it's not common, but there is a few episodes where you're like, wait, what did they just say? And it was actually very notable. Looking back on it, like, I think there was, like, in the 3 seasons, there might have been 3 instances where in season 2 and 3, where I just, look back on it and I was like, bro, what did they just say? That was definitely a adult joke in a kid's show, but they got away with it. Or maybe it's just how I perceived it. Maybe I'm just a naughty man. Oh no, who knows? But then you got the universal language that it has been using to fuel the internet with memes for the past 20 years, ever since this show was culminated. So, even though that's not necessarily true, if I fix that statement, show came out in 99, and I'd say the internet meme started flowing through SpongeBob's database probably around like, if I had to guess, man, like 2010, 2011, maybe sooner, maybe like 8, 9. But I don't think they were just out there like that before all the, before all the internet stuff was happening. What's going on, Nero? Johnny Bravo's Gold. Yeah, Johnny Bravo is a classic show indeed. But best seasons of SpongeBob, I'm gonna die on this hill. Seasons 1 and seasons 1 to 3. I haven't even like. I've probably watched a little bit of like maybe seasons 4, 5, and 6, but there's 15 seasons, and I know there's like 6 or 7 that I haven't seen anything of, and I don't want anything to do with them. But my favorite character from SpongeBob. Come on now, let's be honest. Who is this? It's SpongeBob. It's SpongeBob. So Nero, look what I got. I got that streamer deck. But it's not set up. I'm gonna set it up after this and should be able to use it tomorrow. But moving on to some of the nastiest shows, we're in the second third of this video, of this live stream. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Nero, thank you for joining me. If you guys are watching in the rebroadcast, drop a like on the video, subscribe down below. I'd appreciate it. Helps the channel grow. And Nero said, "Sup, Nico? I'm gonna also be a Plankton Sam for life. Also, for real, seasons 1 to 3 are the best and most meme heavy." Literally, you missed it, Nero. But I said that I just went back and watched those 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, around that, and I understand. I don't think there's an episode past season 3 that's revered as like top tier. Yeah, I got a streamer deck, but I gotta set it up because for some reason I was trying to use custom sounds and it wouldn't let me, and so maybe it's the file type that my sounds were saved as, and so I gotta try to fix that. But we're gonna go on to Cat Dog now. This show is weird, man. I didn't really consider this show a favorite, but I definitely watched this show a good amount. So look, we're going to learn some stuff about this show together, and let's get right into it. Plankton and Karen are the most iconic cartoon couple to me. Cat Dog. Iconic cartoon couple. We'll get into that. Remind me to get into that. But Cat Dog came out in '99, and it was just one of those shows that made you question Nick's writers every time it came on, since the main characters were half cat and half dog, right? Like, bro, I don't even know. I mean, I guess it's really not that hard of a concept to come up with, but just to constantly put them in scenario, like, look at this first picture, bro. Like, I don't even know. Great, funny show, but like, where'd the food go? How'd they poop? How'd they pee? These are questions that were constantly going through my head, and though the dichotomy was like bad but good. Cat was a neat freak, dog was a slob, and he was always dragging the cat into his filthy, nasty situations, like, you know, trashes, sewers, dumpsters, whatever gross thing was honestly just around them for that day. And this show didn't really coin the whole like close up and like zooming in on pimples and just nasty stuff in the whatever. But the next show that we're going to talk about definitely is, so make sure you guys stick around for that. But this show definitely like took a note out of that book and zoomed in on stuff, zoomed in on pimples, nasty situations. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, he did not play. This man is rolling in the dough. Tom Kenny. This man, Tom Kenny, played SpongeBob, and he played Dog in Cat Dog. Oh my god. Now, this show was not as successful, obviously, as SpongeBob, but I mean, SpongeBob is a diamond in the rough, like, however you want to say it, needle in a haystack type of show. But dang, that's crazy. I didn't know that. But like I was saying, Nickelodeon really pushed the boundaries with Cat Dog and their nasty humor obsession, and the show is like constantly making you laugh and cringe simultaneously. And other shows, the humor comes from the personalities and like how the characters clash together, which did happen on this show too, but a lot of it was just like nasty stuff, man. Like, all right, cat's the neat freak, dog's the sloppy one. Let's put that man cat in some nasty stuff. Let's like put him in poop and put him in doggy poo poo and stuff like that. But bro, there were so many cartoons in that first era. In that era, they were so questionable, bro. Nero, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. They're the physical embodiment of opposite attracts. Tom Kenny, a true 90s icon. Bro, I'm learning. This man has a resume like no other, honestly. Maybe some other. I don't know. I don't know that much about cartoon historic stuff, and so we're just going to keep going. A little bit more cat dog lore to go through. Classic odd couple with a twist. They couldn't escape each other. At its core, Cat Dog was a show about two characters trapped in the weirdest situation possible. And there was one episode though where they were able to like become separated, but like it didn't work. They're both miserable without each other, and in the end they need each other to some degree, but obviously they just annoy each other. And so it's one of those I hate you, but I can't live without you kind of situations. So that's Cat Dog, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Kenny though, this man right here, this man might be the GOAT. What else has he done? Movies and shows. Yeah, we're gonna look at your resume real quick. Bro's actually the GOAT. No, hold up. Depending on who he is in this show, he's the Ice King. Yo, that's actually a prominent role. He's the GOAT. No, he's actually the GOAT. All right, so we're gonna quickly go through Mr. Tom Kenny's freaking resume real quick. SpongeBob since '99, the SquarePants movie 2004, 2015 another SpongeBob, 20 another SpongeBob, Paradise PD. I know that show, but not really a big fan of it. Adventure Time, also not a big fan of it, but I do know that show. And that's crazy that he was on that too. I didn't know that. Rick and Morty? Oh, no, he's the GOAT. He's actually the GOAT. He can have it. He can have the title. I didn't know who I was fucking with here. I wasn't aware of your game, my good sir. You win. It's all you, Mr. Kenny. No, he's actually. Oh, he should do transform. No, he won. He won. Nero, he won. He beat the game. What do you mean? What do you mean he was in one of my movies? What was he doing? Oh, he was Will. Oh, Tom Kenny wins. Tom Kenny. Glaze him. Nero, bring out the trophies. I wish the soundboard was fucking working, dude. Like, god dang it. I couldn't get it working. I'm sorry, Nero. I'm sorry. Dude, there's no way Tom Kenny played freaking Wheelie /Skids. Yo, no. He won. He won, dude. He beat the game. He beat the game on hard mode. He beat it on easy mode, dude. Like, we got to get back on track, bro. Tom Kenny's a GOAT. Holy shit. What else is he in though? The Plankton movie, Rocko's Modern Life. I watched this show. This is another weird show. Didn't mess with it too much though. What? No, Tom Kenny's the GOAT, bro. No, he's the GOAT. What do you mean? No, Nero, he was in all these shows. Nero. Oh my God, no. Tom Kenny, what do you mean? He was in Camp Lazlo too? I love this show. He was in. What do you mean he was in Boondocks, bro? What do you mean he was in Boondocks? How was he in Boondocks? He was literally in everything. He's in everything. Oh my God. No, he's actually in everything. I can't even be I'm not even joking anymore. He's actually in everything. He's in everything. He is a cartoon. He is in everything. Oh my God, the resume ends here. No. No, he's in this too? He's in this? What isn't this man in? No, Mr. Kenny did it. He beat the game on hard. This man is my childhood. This should be a stream about him. Oh, Mr. Kenny. We have to continue, but holy shit. That's a clean sweep. That's a 21 act. That's a blackjack. That's an ace. Holy Mr. Oh my god. I didn't even see this one. My gym partner's a monkey, bro. Like what? Uncle Grandpa. He's in Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab. Yes, he's in all of it, Nero. He's in all of it. He's in everything. Nah, Tom Kenny, he's actually greatness. All bow down to Mr. Kenny. Holy shit, dude. All right, we got to keep going. The Tom Kenny glaze must commence. It must end at some time. Holy shit. Mr. Kenny, dude, like you're him. I don't think we'll find another side quest that good, dude. Holy crap. But like I said, Cat Dog, what a show. Moving on to one of the shows that Mr. Kenny just might not be in. Let me know if you guys know this one. Ren and fucking Stimpy. I'll be surprised if that man isn't in this show at this point. I'm honest. That's the god darn truth. But what do you guys know about Ren and Stimpy? This is one of those shows that really, really, really love to get up close and personal with the bumps and stuff, the pimples and stuff, all the nasty stuff. Wasn't very fun when it comes to watching it, if I'm being honest. Another sitcom. I talked about Drake and Josh earlier. I don't know how many of these shows have been sitcoms, but I didn't really think that I was into that many sitcoms, but I did watch this show, so take that as you will. Excuse me, I scarfed down 2 Five Guys burgers before I started this live stream, so if I burp or something of that matter, please forgive me. But like I was saying, Ren and Stimpy, guys, similar to Cat Dog in a lot of ways, but the characters are not stuck together, obviously. Ren and Stimpy was very disturbing, okay? I don't think I need to go very much more into detail. If I go into the images right here, we might just be able to see why. Now look. Yeah, alright. This is why, man. This show is crazy. Look at this. Perhaps most disturbing scene in all of Ren and Stimpy. Reddit Retro Nickelodeon. Now, this... Dude, what the... I don't even want to know where this one... Like, what context could possibly... Alright, whatever, dude. But like I was about to say... in some ways, this show invented disturbing close-ups. They zoomed in on pimples, snot, bloodshot eyes, cracked teeth, and almost any kind of nastiness. And literally the simplest thing, like eating or sweating, it was kind of horrifying in the show. Yet you couldn't look away. Then another staple of this show was like their pain humor. I remember this so fucking vividly. Holy shit. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, dude. What in the Cartoon Network fuck am I looking at? Are you dead ass? This was on my television when I was a young boy, and I had to watch. I watched this, and this was implanted in my cerebellum. Oh nah, dude. We're suing Cartoon Network. we're going to sue him for trauma. Because this ain't right. I can do a lot of stuff. I remember this so vividly. And I am not even joking. This is crazy. Oh, nah, dog. We got to get them canceled. They can't get away with this. They can't get away with this. I just know this video too is the reaction, and so they can't get away with this. I can't allow it. Somebody call the cops. Somebody please call the cops. This is crazy. I was gonna go into say how their pain was a staple of the show, and how they use that to, you know, get some laughs off. Get some laughs off, you know. Their pain was a staple. LOL, I remember being so annoyed at my parents for being so concerned about these cartoons, but now I understand. Nah, Nero, they're rightfully concerned because this is crazy. This is crazy, alright? What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Alright. Ren was always getting zapped, stretched, slapped, and mentally broken, while Stimpy was usually just vibing in his own world, if we're being honest. You could say Ren and Stimpy changed cartoons forever with how grotesque and nasty they were, okay? I mean, just imagine, dude, like, what am I looking at? I don't even, like, are these supposed to be just straight gums, or are there worms? I'm actually so over this cartoon. That one picture with the saw actually pissed me off. Next show, Chalkzone. Because just imagine a world where whatever you draw and then choose to erase becomes alive. Just imagine a world. Just imagine. I don't think I'd ever leave that room. But Chalkzone, honestly, it's in the weird show category because it's a fucking weird show, alright? It had a good amount, Nickelodeon had a good amount of straight up weird shows, and this is one of them. Because I remember this show because of the creative aspect, you know, like I said, you draw something, erase it, it becomes alive. But it also had its whatever you want to call them, dude. Whatever you want to call them. Like, it had its little gripes. Like, even if you were not done drawing something and you still erased it, it would still be alive, you know? So if you were only halfway done, then it was halfway alive in that sense. But yeah, Chalkzone was cool. Chalkzone was lit. Chalkzone was different just overall. It's hard to honestly recall too much about it because of how different it was and just how out there it was, but some of the cast we got here, haven't heard of any of them. I'm honestly just looking for that man, Tom Kenny. I'm just making sure he's not creeping somewhere. Chalkzone was a good show, though. The main characters were Snap, Rudy, and Penny. And they were a great trio, always fighting villains and the random side characters that were always just straight chaos. And the plots would get crazy because Rudy would get trapped in a world of evil doodles, and at one point, Snap turned into a giant superhero with no control of his powers, and so. Oh yeah, the intro was definitely a bop. That was also true. Good shout, good shout. I remember that. The intro is a banger. I 100% can agree with you there. And the show always had balanced action, comedy, and nonsense that made it fun yet very unsettling. And it was honestly one of those shows that I would say flew under the radar. Definitely flew under the radar. Yo. Yo, somebody get this guy, bro. Did I put the fucking wrong title on this goddamn thing, dude? Yeah, we're not even doing this one. Whatever. No, we messed up the title. We're doing Nickelodeon shows, Nero, not freaking Cartoon Network. Whatever. Whatever, dude. Alright, man, let's get back into it. We're not gonna sweat it too long. No big deal. We will just I'll get it changed after this is done and recorded. But yeah, Chalkzone was cool, man. I don't really have too many memories of Chalkzone. Don't have too many yeah, facts. Title's gonna change. But Chalkzone was cool. Oh yeah, here are the main characters. I couldn't remember what they looked like, honestly, but oh, here they are again. Yeah, good show. Not my favorite weird show, but let's see. Out of the 3 that I got, yeah, I would definitely say it's probably the one that I'm about to talk about now. Even though I don't have that much memory from it, Rugrats was just a good show because it was super unique, and there's not many shows like it nowadays at all, actually. And so a show from the perspective of babies. So what happens in that manner? What happens when the show is shot from a baby's POV? Things like a vacuum or a trip to the store became terrifying or super magical or just plain weird. And since the babies misunderstood how the world works completely, it would always lead to hilarious but always kind of concerning adventures for them. And a few times they thought that their toilet was a monster, so they had to get that sorted out. Obviously not a monster, it's just a toilet. Makes a lot of noise, takes your shit away. Their tall adults are usually just like, hey, there we go. Rugrats was my first cartoon that I was absolutely dedicated to as a kid. There you go. It was a good show. I did enjoy it. But tall adults, wobbly backgrounds, and wild facial expressions made it feel like an actual baby's imagination a lot of times, and so you get that perspective like I'm talking about. They'll make you feel like you're a little kid. But the kids didn't help. They were funny. You know, they had kids like Tommy and Angelica Pickles, brother and sister, who were pretty much the complete opposite of each other. And there was Phil and Lil, the gross twins who ate bugs, played in mud, and had like zero boundaries. And then and then it's like the adults were nowhere to be found in this show, which is very memorable for some reason. Like half the time, they just were nowhere to be found. It's like, all right, our kids are walking through a store or unclogging a toilet or doing whatever, and you know we're just not here. We're just not here. But surprisingly, though, the show was pretty deep at times. You know, with emotional moments teaching the kids about loss and using the fact that Chucky's mom was gone as a touching point, and also episodes touched on growing up, change, and you know that stuff kind of hits harder now looking back on it as an adult, because you know, maybe we weren't thinking about it back then. Maybe we were just doing whatever, just chilling. But now, shit's real. But some episodes were just straight up creepy. You know, they had no real plot as far as the deeper meaning. They were just scary episodes because it was all from a kid's perspective, and using that. I don't know if it really added to the scary effect, but it definitely did give it a unique angle, because it always was like the kid was crawling. It was always like the kid was crawling. I'll never forget that. Show came out in '91, had 9 seasons, and so that, dang, dude. When did cartoons start coming out? Ed, Edd and Eddy. It's a good show. It's a good show. Should we? Maybe I'll do Ed and Eddy just because, you know, that's what the title says. Even though we're not doing that. The Tommy Nightmare episode was terrifying. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. In India, they had limited cartoons. Bro, that stinks. Dang, I guess I must have got the tail end of this cartoon then, because it came out and ended right as I was born. Ah, there you go. But you watch all of them? Lucky you, man. Lucky you. All right, last cartoon we got, and then we're going to go through some, maybe look at some ones, talk about some ones that you guys got in the chat there. But last one that I got on my to-do list, Recess, baby. What you guys know about Recess? This show was, this show was different, you know. Can't say there's too many out there like this one either. Luckily, wait, we didn't see how. I think Tom Kenny's in this one. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Nonetheless, Recess. Recess was a show that turned elementary into a full-on structured society, if you guys didn't know. The playground had its own laws, rules, and underground networks. Ooh, Tom and Jerry was my first cartoon ever. Classic. You had people who ruled Recess, like King Bob and Randall. And don't even get me started on Randall, but that guy was the definition of a teacher's pet, dude. Like, I swear to God. I think kids can learn, though, from Randall. Kids can learn what not to do. Because Randall was like, bro was just, like, yeah, okay, you won the teacher's side, but you're not playing with the teachers at night. You know, it's like when people in prison try to do nice stuff for the guards, but the guards get to go home at night. You're not playing with the guards at recess. You're playing with the people at school. You're playing with the kids, you know? So you don't befriend the teachers, you befriend the kids. Unless you got some, like, grandmaster plan. But They also had unspoken rules on the playground, like a lot of cultures, and not that I remember it too many of them. You know, I can just recall the fact that this society was legit, guys. All right, this was a real society with real rules, real laws and regulations, real consequences. All right, this isn't something that you just kind of messed around with. All right, if you're having recess, you're following these rules, but that's just how it was. The main crew: T.J. Dweller, Spinelli, Gretchen, Mikey, Vince, Gus. Their friendship, was, it felt real. It definitely felt real. I won't speak too much to it though. I did watch this show, but it wasn't one of my favorite shows. They got 10 seasons in though. That's cool. That's very commendable. 10 seasons in. It's an adventure show, so it wouldn't be a sitcom. Yeah, I definitely. Even though I was a kid, I think I knew what was a sitcom and what wasn't, because I can't believe I was watching two of those. SpongeBob might be a sitcom. I don't know. Nonetheless, uh, the recess, the playground, with all the laws and stuff and the rules that it had, it made it feel more real. It made it feel like it had real world lessons that were applicable because you couldn't just get away with anything on the playground and then go on the street and have to then follow rules. Like, you're ruled up the entire time. But they tackled real childhood problems in the show, like unfair teachers, peer pressure, and just feeling like an outsider. Another constant theme in the show was like deeper social messages, in the sense of like somebody feeling like an outsider, and another constant theme was like how rules don't always make sense. You said the Recess movie was superb. Dang, wait, I kind of remember that. I don't like remember anything about it or anything, but I do just remember it being good. If I'm not, or maybe I don't. Wait, you guys, this movie right here was fucking the Goofy movie. This was my shit for a while. I love this movie. Don't even get me started. But then you got the fact that the Recess humor wasn't forced, wasn't overdone, but it always did feel smart. You know, it felt realistic, and I can't say that it's timeless and holds up, but I don't know. It gives me that feeling, considering like it didn't just have no boundaries. Basically, the show made elementary feel like an adventure, with the characters, the humor, the playground politics, and making it one of the best school-based cartoons ever, by far. So, if you guys enjoyed that little what do you want to call that, nostalgic cartoon review, subscribe for more throwback videos on your favorite cartoons and TV shows, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Peace out. Now, the question is, do I end the stream? Spinelli was my idol, followed by She-Girl from Kim Possible, but for sure The humor and the character interactions from Recess were so well done. Nah, that's facts. Big fact, big fact, big facts. Oh shit, Recess. Alright, what was bro talking about earlier? He said Tom and Jerry. Yeah, we can look at Tom and Jerry real quick, bro. I love that show. Or Doug, or Hey. Ooh, Doug was a good one. Let's see. Wait, you know, this one? If this is the show, nah, dude, we can't talk about this show. We can, but we can't. I like that show, but it wasn't my favorite. Yeah, Hey Arnold was good. Iconic is an understatement. Wait, I said that backwards. Nonetheless. Dang, it's on Apple TV. Oh, bro, it said Ed and Eddie. That's what I was talking about earlier. Nah, dude, I love Ed and Eddie, bro. I won't even hold you. Alright, there we go. I want to get that perfect. But this show, it was straight. Not my favorite show. I didn't like how the characters, like, thinking back, I don't think I liked how the characters were different colors and stuff. Whatever, dude. Invader Zim, though, only 2 seasons, came out in 2001. I did like this show. I did watch it a little bit. Actually, I don't know if I liked it. I watched it. I don't know. I don't think it was my favorite show. I did watch it, though. Watched it for a little bit. I'm not part of the reason they're still here. But this is a classic, bro. Came out the year I was born. Children's television series, 6 seasons. Man. Yo, let Tom Kenny be in this too. I'll actually make it my life's mission to meet the man. Yo, why is Eddie played by so many people? Ed and Eddie is so quotable. Yeah, dude. I was actually, funny enough, Nero, I was actually looking for Ed quotes, or not Ed, sorry, Ralph quotes to call my friends the other day. Just because bro used to say some crazy, funny stuff. Ed and Eddie should have more memes than it. No, it actually should. That's so true. I 100% agree with you there. It doesn't even have that many. That's a crazy part. It doesn't even have that many. They just hit me with an ad? Like, when I think of Ed and Eddie memes, I actually can't even think of, like, this is probably one that I think of the most. But no, you're actually so right. It should have more memes than it does, 100%. Any other shows you want to... No, I'd actually do it. I swear to God, I was trying to do it. What did I call him? What did I call, bro? I'll look it up, man. I'll look it up because it was funny. Phone's at 1%. I don't know if it was like. Uh, 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 uh. No, it's cooked. It's cooked, it's cooked, it's cooked. I could just do this though. No, I actually need to see this. Hey. Harvest Beast. Oh god, dude. Hold up. This is gonna give me a laugh. Alright. Oh yeah, Ralph had some of the funniest, most random names for the other kids. He almost never called anyone by their regular name. He always had some wild variation or bizarre nickname. Especially for Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Here's some breakdowns. Eddie, Ed Boy Supreme. Foolish Ed Boy. Yeah, that was a classic. Son of the Biscuit Thief. What? Ed, the strong dumb one. Lumpy Ed Boy. Ox-headed Ed Boy. Loaf of muscle. Yo, I actually can't. You walking mound of pudding. Double D Ed, the smart one. Sulk-headed Ed Boy. Neat freak Ed Boy. Fancy Ed Boy. Brainy Ed Boy. Ed Boy with the shameful hat. Weird random Rolfisms for the group. Children of the Kovasak. Harvest. Dude, I remember Harvest Beast like the back of my fucking hand, dude. Pest of the Land too. I remember that one. Swine of Inconvenience. No Good Buttered Scoundrels. Yo, Ro was actually throwing gold at them, and I had no idea. Alright, man. This is the loaf of muscles of his friend group. Yeah, they were calling me buff today when I went to go play soccer. Because I had a compression shirt on. I was like, am I jacked? I was like, am I strong? And I was like, yeah, bro, you're jacked. I'm like, damn. I don't feel it. Don't feel it yet. Maybe one day. But, it's gonna do it for this stream, Nero. We're trying something new. This is gonna be a little short stream. I'll be back tomorrow a bit earlier than the stream is actually scheduled for because I am doing something later. And so, hope you enjoy the stream, Nero. GG's in the chat. Saturday, I'm probably gonna do a gaming stream. And so, if you want to be here for that, more than welcome. But till then, peace out. Have a great night, Nero. Stream, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great one. Peace out.